Morning, Shane, and thanks very much for joining us on Blue Notes again. You've just released to staff here a letter, the ANZ way. It's a published document. All of ANZ staff have just got it, and it's quite a discursive document around the bank, its values, its purpose. It's your thoughts about how ANZ should operate. I'm sure the letter will get out to the outside world. And so I thought one of the things that's really interesting in there is your discussion of the bank's strategy, particularly for investors and others looking at ANZ from outside. What is ANZ's strategy?
Yeah, well, our strategy is actually quite simple, and it's really on this core foundation or this idea that banking and what we do is actually getting more and more complicated, so we should choose to do a few things and do them really, really well. And that's essentially, from an investor's point of view, that's what we're doing. So, and what are those few things? Well, we've said we want to be the best bank in Australia and New Zealand for people who want to buy and own a home or start and run a small business. Yeah? And then for institutional clients, we want to be the best bank in the world for people who are in the business of moving goods and money around Asia Pacific. So that's essentially what we want to do. And it's really about intense focus and delivery on those segments and not doing anything else.
And the need to sort of restate that, is it because it wasn't so obvious, even though maybe it should be clear, or is it because it's changed in the time that you've been here?
I think the level of intensity in terms of our focus has changed. The core of that strategy was always there. I think what we're really trying to get across to our people and the marketplace is like we are totally serious about this focus. And that does mean, and it helps explain why we are exiting, selling, shrinking other parts of the bank, because we're determined to be the best bank in those areas alone.
Because you've made the point in discussing the ANZ way that banks don't get paid to be different, but often we hear from companies we've got to differentiate ourselves, we do have to be different. What do you mean by that?
So I get asked a lot, well, Shane, as you refocus the bank, that sounds a lot more like, potentially a lot more like some of your peer group, because they're focused on homeowners in Australia, et cetera, et cetera. So are you looking more and more like them? And my answer to that is exactly that point you just repeated, which is, well, I don't get paid to be different. We get paid to win. And our customers pay us to win, not to be different, and our shareholders pay us to win. And we've decided at ANZ that the best way we can win, as I said, is do a few things and do them really, really well. And that is essentially the essence of what that letter's all about.
And it breaks down into sort of three components as well, using ANZ's purpose and values to drive change, a better culture, embracing digital technology, and then, as you say, reshaping the bank, making it better capitalised and simpler. The digital one, I think everyone knows we're now in a digital world. For a bank, banks are technology shops, I suppose, but is digital about new products, or is it about cost reduction?
Well, let me just step back a little bit and say, well, if you want to be really great at those few things, how do you win? And essentially, we only have two resources, really. We have our technology, the way we go, and we have our people. And so if we want to win, it's about how do we get those two things to work in harmony for great customer outcomes. So it's about having people who care, people who have an empathy for their customers, who go the extra mile, who are creative and adaptive and listen. And so that's about our culture and values. And it's about having the technology that enables customers to experience ANZ in a great way. People don't wake up in the morning really caring about banking. They just want it to work. And increasingly, they just want it in their pocket, on their phone, and they just want it all to be really simple, and that's what digital is about. So we do get a bit carried away sometimes. It's about new sexy apps, and a part of it is about that. But really, digital is just a code word for saying, just make it work for me. And the way that banks make it work, simply and fast, is just through great technology. That's what really all we're talking about here.